This question is about multiplying binomials. And a binomial is just a polynomial that has two terms. So 7k and 2 are each term. So this has two terms. And 5k minus 9, that has two terms. So you have a binomial times a binomial. Now, a lot of teachers teach to do this using what's called the FOIL method. And if you've learned the FOIL method, then feel free to use that. I basically use the FOIL method. I don't call it that. I like to think of it more like distributing. And so remember, in distributing, you're multiplying something into parentheses. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to take this. Well, let me rewrite the question so we got more room. So I have 7k plus 2 times 5k minus 9. And so I'm going to take the 7k and I'm going to multiply it times the 5k and the 9. So let me draw a little line here to show you what I'm doing. So I'm multiplying that times that. So again, this should look kind of like the distributive property. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 2 and I'm going to multiply it times the 5k and times the 9. All right, so let's see what happens when we do this. So I multiply 7k times 5k. Now remember, when you multiply power times a power or a variable times a variable, you add the exponents. So these k's actually have exponents of 1 on them that aren't written. So everything has an exponent of 1 if there's no exponent there. You just think about there being an exponent of 1. So I multiply the 7 and the 5 together. That gives me 35. And then the k's, I have k times k, and I add the exponents, and I get k to the second. Then I'm going to multiply 7k times 9, and pay attention to the minus sign in front of the 9. That tells me to treat this like a negative 9. So 7k times negative 9 gives me negative 63k. Now I'm going to come over and do the 2. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 5k. And those are both positive, so that's plus 10k. Then I'm going to multiply the 2 times the negative 9, and that gives me negative 18, so I write minus 18. So again, this is very similar to FOIL. FOIL, in case you don't remember, stands for first, outer, inner, last. And again, it's basically the same thing. You end up with the same thing. I just find students have an easier time thinking of it as the distributive property. Now, once I get to here, now I need to combine like terms. And so I have like terms here in the middle, this 63k and 10k. Be careful with the signs. The minus sign in front of the 63k means that's negative. That's how I'm going to treat that. So I have negative 63 plus 10k gives me negative 53k. And then I just bring down the rest of it. So I have the 35k to the second, and I have the minus 18. And I can't simplify this any further. There's no more like terms. And you can see that's the same answer as C here. Okay, so hopefully that made that a little easier for you. Stick with it, keep it up, and you will master the math.